Michelle Perdue.
On January the 21st, 2017, I received a disturbing phone call. Michelle, you either have calcifications or you have breast cancer. Well, it turned out that I had breast cancer. And not only did I have breast cancer, I had cancer in each breast. And I was diagnosed with two different types of cancer, which only 10% of the population has. But guess what? Today, I am not here to talk about my cancer. No, 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 no. Today, I am here to talk about your cancer. You see, you may not have cancer within the body, but so many of us have cancer within our thoughts and our actions. They are thoughts and actions that rob us from showing up to be our true, authentic selves. So today, in the next 20 minutes, I am going to share some tools with you that is going to empower you to rise above your self-limiting thoughts and actions to be the best version of you. And this process is going to come to you in the form of the acronym RAD, R-A-D, because you truly have to be radical in order to apply these tools. Because these tools aren't something that people do every day. It takes someone who is special. It takes someone who is in tuned to who they are as a person to apply them. So the first letter is R, and that R stands for resilience. And resilience is simply how you are able to thrive in the face of adversity. And another way to look at it is whenever you are facing trials and tribulations, it does not have to define, devalue, or destroy you. But it's simply a matter of you being aware of those cancerous thoughts and actions so that they don't control you, but so that you control them. So what exactly makes a person resilient? You know, the author, Brene Brown, in her book that she writes, The Gift of Imperfection, she says that people who are resilient are people who are good at problem solving. They're good at seeking help. They're self-motivated. They don't wait for someone to come to rescue them. They rescue themselves. They have social support. And they also are connected. They're connected to friends and family. But another thing that really stood out about her research, after interviewing hundreds and hundreds of people, she said that not only do resilient people possess those types of skills, but a lot of them are spiritual. And she says that spirituality is a key component in being resilient. And when she speaks of being resilient, she's not talking about being religious. It has nothing to do with being religious. Those people who are able to be spiritual are those people who realize that there is something, there is a power that is bigger than themselves that connect all of us together as human beings. And what connects us is love and compassion. But the next question is, how do you develop? How do you develop resilience? Well, Karen Rivich, she's the author of Resilience Factor. She says one way to develop resilience is to be aware of your ticker tape thoughts. And those ticker tape thoughts are simply thoughts that we as people are unaware of. But at the same time, they determine how we think. They determine how we act. So my question for you today, are you aware of your ticker tape beliefs? And if you're not, this is what they recommend you do. Set your timer, set your computer, and let it go off at random intervals throughout the day. And whenever you hear that beep, 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 beep noise, I want you to stop and I want you to become aware about your thoughts. What are you thinking? And start writing them down so that you are intentional and deliberate about how you show up. Secondly, authenticity. Authenticity means being true to who you are, whether it's in the world or behind closed doors. Are you being true to who you are? So many of us play so small when it comes time to let the world see who we really are. But we put up this facade because we don't want people to see our vulnerabilities. We don't want people to see our fears. But in reality, when we do that, guess who we're robbing? It's not them, it's us. And we don't show up for various reasons, such as we're afraid of rejection. We're afraid of people rejecting who we are as people. And we don't understand sometimes how to separate the two. If you are a speaker and you are given feedback about how you speak, that has to do with your speaking ability, not your character as a person. Are you able to distinguish between the two? That's what I mean when I'm talking about cancerous thoughts. Thoughts that rob you of showing up to be your truest, your boldest, most authentic self. And I have to tell you that I have been in a place recently to where I could have easily have let my cancerous thoughts ruin my future. I've recently decided to change my target audience in my speaking business. Up to this point, I have been speaking to business professionals in terms of helping them with their communication and their presentation skills. About a month ago, I had an opportunity to speak to 800 business professionals, 800, more than any that I have spoken to before. A couple weeks ago, I had an opportunity to train employees at Johnson & Johnson, which is an amazing company. But I had to follow my heart. I had to say, okay, Michelle, if you were to die today, what is it that you would want to be doing? And I came to the conclusion that I wanted to speak to cancer survivors. I wanted to share my heart and my passion with them so that they can get from where they are now to where it is they want to be, whether they have cancer now or they've transcended through cancer and they're at a different place in their life, but they still have that thought in the back of their minds. Will my cancer come back? Thirdly, I talked about resilience. I've talked about authenticity, but I want to talk about something that is so underestimated, something that we have control of within us to help us to show up and to minimize these cancerous thoughts. And it's a good chance you may have heard of it because you're in Toastmasters and you speak all the time. So what is that thing? What is that D, the letter D? It's diaphragmatic breathing. Diaphragmatic breathing. Diaphragmatic breathing is what helps you to strengthen your diaphragm. So not only does diaphragmatic breathing help you with lowering your blood pressure and your heart rate, but it also helps you to stay in the moment. It also helps you to focus on the here and the now. How are you breathing? At this very moment, how are you breathing? Your breathing is either helping you or it is either hurting you. So not only could it potentially be hurting you in your thoughts, but it could be hurting you as a speaker, because we either speak for living or we're speaking or we're breathing to speak. And when we breathe to live, we typically breathe from our chest. But when we breathe to speak and project our voice, we breathe from our diaphragm. And it's something that's very simple to do. And while you're sitting right now, I just want to do this exercise with you. I want you to sit with your posture, sit up in your chair, and I want you to put your feet apart, and I want you to square your shoulders. I want you to put one hand on your stomach, and I want you to put one hand on your chest. And I want you to breathe for about 2 seconds. Breathe. Let it out. And as you're breathing, I want you to be aware of where your hands are. You want to make sure that your chest is not moving. The only thing that should be moving should be your stomach. And as you're breathing, that breathing helps to center you. It helps you to get focused. Not only does it help you, once again, to project your voice, but it helps you to become aware, very aware of what your thoughts are. I want you to give me a thumbs up. If you're with me and you understand and you're connecting with what I'm saying, I want you to give me a thumbs up. All right, that's what I like to see. And as you're thinking about your thoughts, when you get in tune to your thoughts, it's a good chance that those thoughts sometimes are rooted in shame. Because sometimes the shame that we have, it's almost as if you want to use a magnifying glass. Because when you use a magnifying glass and you go and you look deep, that's when you are able to be aware of your fears. But when you look back, when you take a step back, then you begin to see the big picture. And when I say the big picture, for instance, just think of Warren Buffett. He is a billionaire. Did you know that Warren Buffett struggled with public speaking? Did you know that he struggled with public speaking? But if you took him for face value and all you saw was that he was a billionaire and the impact that he had on this world, and you didn't go deeper to understand his story, then that's where those cancerous thoughts start to form and start to dictate how you show up. So I want to share this poem with you that's titled, Be You. And this poem is based on my story. It's my story, but I want the message to be for you because I wanted to inspire you. I want you to walk away from this presentation feeling as if you're thinking differently. You have tools and resources to act differently. So this is my story about pursuing my acting career and how other people could potentially, their thoughts could potentially have shaped the way I showed up as an actor. But I decided that I was going to be my true, authentic self in spite of their opinions, and their views of me. So I want you to think of this poem as a gift to you. I was surprised to realize all that I had inside, having to prove myself to Hollywood for the umpteenth time. Had a wait in line for my time to shine to prove to them that I was worth more than a dime. I said to myself, let's stop, rewind, wasting your time and mine. No, you take a seat. Give me a chance to show you, a chance to be me, be free. Let me live out my dreams. Don't try to overlook me because of something that you can't see. I am not a wannabe. I am coming to you with originality. See, I was like this volcano that was just waiting to explode. Had so much inside of me, didn't know how to let it go, let it flow, let it show this fire oozing inside of me. Okay, let me stop and breathe, release this tension inside of me, fears and all my anxieties. Free myself from that stress, feel blessed with all that God has given me. Now I can stop and exhale and smell the roses in life by not getting caught up in that Hollywood hype, not fitting their type. Too dark, too thin, not willing to sin, do anything to win just to fit in. But I stood tall. I embraced it all. Rejection, my lack of perfection, being told that I should take my life into another direction. But instead, I listened to my inner voice. And once I accepted it, I had no choice. I rejoice today because I'm the woman that I always knew that I could be. I'm not asking for their approval because I know my destiny. See, if you don't already know, then let me explain. I was put on this earth to, change things, make a difference of the people who have self doubts. God wanted me to share my stories, my struggles. He wanted me to reach out. Now, don't get confused. I'm not saying that my life is any better than you. God gave us all talents that He wanted us to use. I'm not trying to abuse, but rather amuse you into believing the things that you were born to do. See, some people know their talents and some don't. Some will discover them and some won't. But I'm here today to say that you don't have to settle for less. Working a dead end job and not giving it your best, I press to stress the importance of looking from within. Stop listening to the world to find peace in your skin. I said, stop listening to the world to find peace in your skin. I know it's not easy to leap out on faith, afraid of the unknown, thinking it's a mistake. So then you wait, procrastinate, afraid to live the truth, willing to compromise your dreams instead of being you. But see, I'll be your cheerleader. I'll encourage you if you fall. I'll be there to pick you up, to help you stand tall. I want you to finish that battle, finish to the end. Be your true self and never, ever give in. So today, I talk to you about how to be resilient. I, I talk to you about how to be authentic, how to be your true authentic self. And finally, I talk to you about the importance of diaphragmatic breathing. Excuse me. The question is, are you going to apply them? That's the key. That's the key. Thank you.